Hey there, Holiday with you once again. First of all, big thank you to everybody for all your questions and comments regarding the first video. This is the Lenovo 720 with the Nvidia 1050 in it. Again, amazing response, kind of blew me away to be honest with you. Again, a reminder, I'm just a radio guy. I am a certified computer tech though, although I don't do that part for a living, so just keep in mind you're dealing with a radio guy who likes to mess around with laptops. Unlike some of the dedicated tech sites, I don't have a lot of the professional measuring equipment as far as Adobe RGB and all that sort of stuff. Some of the more high-end screen calibration stuff, like Spider and everything. But I just like to get a hold of laptops, mess around with them. This model specifically, I'm hoping some of the higher-end tech sites get a hold of and start featuring and digging into these a little bit deeper to run some more specific benchmarks. This video is directly in response to a lot of your comments and some of your requests. I'm going to do as much as I can, but again, I am kind of limited by my resources. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the questions you've had about sound, the touchpad, thermals. Gonna do a little bit of gameplay, although there's a little bit of a disclaimer I'm going to put on that too. But I'm going to try to get to some of your questions and give some of you guys some answers that you're specifically asking about regarding this model of Lenovo, the 720. So we'll get right at that now. The one issue I got so many comments and questions about had to do with the sound. Somebody called me out, and they were totally right on. That since we're a radio station, you would think that I would have thought to talk about the sound. That didn't happen. In my opinion, as I said in response to some of your questions, I think the sound's actually pretty good. It's going to depend on your needs. Sound is a very subjective thing. I mean, and when I try to play the sound for you here, I mean, obviously a lot of factors come into play. There's the camera I'm using. I think the one thing I decided to do that's going to give you maybe the best illustration of how the sound on the Lenovo Yoga 720 is compare it to my other daily driver, which is my MSI GS63 VR. Now, again, I'm trying to keep this as much apples to apples as I can to keep all the factors as close as I can. I've got both laptops set to volume around 89, and they're playing the same exact generic royalty-free YouTube track. But I just want to give you an idea. I think one of the reasons why I felt like the Lenovo 720 sound was actually so good is I'm coming from this MSI, and that's really one of the weak points of the GS63 VR, in my opinion, is the sound is just terrible in a lot of cases. But anyway, playing for you here. Again, same exact track, just different laptops. First I'm going to play the GS63 VR. Okay, I think we can all agree that sufficiently sucks, right? Now, direct comparison, the exact same track, the exact same volume level on the Lenovo 720 Yoga. Okay, so you get the idea. Again, if you compare those two, in my opinion, the Lenovo completely blows away MSI as far as sound goes. Let me play a completely different track to just to make sure I'm giving you as much comparison as possible. Okay, so this generic song's terrible. It's another issue. But here's the Yoga 720, same track. Okay, again, to me the sound on the Yoga sounds great. And that's not messing with any EQs, that's not using any special proprietary players, it's just the generic awful Microsoft Groove music thing. That'll just give you an idea. You have to make your own call on that. I mean, if you're a musician, then no, you know, you're probably not going to want to settle on a laptop like either of these. Definitely not the GS63. But if just regular everyday use, gaming, browsing, whatever, I think the Yoga is actually pretty strong. One other question I had in the comments on the previous video had to do with the touchpad. I'm honestly not sure exactly what material this touchpad is made of. As I said, I almost always use a wireless mouse. I'm not a touchpad person. I understand why it's important to a lot of people. And to me, it's keeping very close to the actual material of the chassis on the laptop itself. I can't tell. It's probably a type of plastic. I don't think it's glass. But again, by touchpad standards, to me, it's really smooth and responsive. I don't use them. So as some of you have done, best idea, go to Best Buy, find a display model or bug one of the salespeople and make them break open a box or something so you can feel it for yourself. Touchpad, to me, I would definitely think it would be a positive on this new Yoga. Okay, and then another big question that you guys had in the comments as far as something you're wondering about, fans. To me, for just general browsing, and again, this is a laptop that my wife is using as her daily driver. It's completely silent in a situation like this to me. I know it's kind of hard to tell. I'm in more or less a quiet room. But as I'm sitting here, I can't hear any kind of audible fan. I'm actually going to do another experiment though, and I'm going to move on to show you a couple of games. But I'm going to go ahead and launch the game Steep, and I've got the sound muted because I want you to hear what the fans sound like once this thing is under load. To me, very acceptable. But again, that's going to depend on you. Okay, this is a rare moment of me being quiet. Okay, so you can tell fans are ramping up. Again, this is going to kind of double as a show you a little bit of gameplay. This is about as close as my wife gets to AAA gaming, by the way. This and there's a couple others I want to show you. And I'll be quiet as I'm playing so you can actually hear the fans. Again, to some people this might be loud. I totally get that. So I'm not going to talk. I'll just play a little bit and try to give you as good an idea as possible as far as how loud the fans are. Here we go. Alright, first of all, let me check the settings here. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to play at 4K. Again, leave VSync off, 1920 by 1080, full screen. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to go ahead and run the benchmark. That may be the easiest way to show you what this thing can do. Again, 1920 by 1080, 60 hertz refresh rate, VSync off, and let's see what this can do. And again, I won't talk so you can hear fans. Okay, so there you go. At 1920 by 1080, high settings. You can see not really any throttling to speak of. As far as the GPU goes, anyway, but maintaining very close to 60 frames per second. Again, it started out around 28, but actually the max frame rate was 68, average frame rate 58. Believe it or not, I do talk for a living. That's scary. But really a pretty good experience overall. Okay, this is the infamous Forza Horizon 3. Now, again, I'm not looking for maximum frame rates, anything like that. Anybody that's played this game knows, especially closer to the launch, this thing was buggy as you know what. And it was hard to get this thing to run smooth on pretty much anything. So I thought actually this would be a pretty good indication of what kind of AAA games this thing could handle. Again, my wife doesn't play a lot of the Witcher 3 or GTA 5 or anything like that. So unfortunately, I don't have anything like that to show you. But I figured that this would be a good indication of at least showing you that this thing is capable of playing a more high-end game at 1920 by 1080. There are a couple of games she does play at 4K, which I'll show you too. But as far as AAA stuff, you can imagine that 1920 is what you're going to want to shoot for. So far, everything at 1920 that I have found on this system, I can play at high settings. Your mileage is going to vary. But so far, everything's been a really good experience. While this is loading, again, trying to give you an idea of what the fan noise sounds like. The thing I've noticed is that, yeah, you can hear the fans. I don't actually hear some of the infamous coil whine that some laptops have suffered from this year. If you use headphones, then the fan noise isn't going to bother you. And again, just keep in mind, this is a convertible. This is a 2-in-1 convertible. I had somebody else mention the Gigabyte Aero 14 model as a comparison to this, and from what I hear, that's actually a great laptop. It's got a 1060 in it also, or this got a 1050, that has 1060. But that's not a convertible, so to me that's a slightly different genre of machine. So as far as 2-in-1 convertibles, that's what I'm comparing this with when I talk about value. So actually I've not messed around with this yet. So we're going to see what it can do. Again, the frame rate is locked because of the frame rate smoothing that Forza Horizon 3, you just to have any kind of a smooth experience, you're going to want that. So, yeah, Hot Wheels expansion. Don't own it. Skip. Great, congratulations. Team 10, you've got your little commercial for Hot Wheels in. Now let me play the freaking game. It'd be great if this would end sometime soon. Yep, hold on. Not one to buy it. And again, I've got the sound turned off, so you can hear fans. So, all right, fine. Barn rumor. That's fine. Let's make that our little project. As you can see, again, keep in mind, guys, this is a convertible 2-in-1. The whole point of this is, if you're a hardcore gamer, go get something with a 1070, or if you got the cash, something with a 1080. But if you want portability, I mean, it's amazing to think that you got a machine like this that you can take with you. It's got a 4K screen. We'll do games like this at 1920 by 1080. Again, it's just my opinion. I think this is pretty great value. I've not really found a negative about this laptop yet. And as you can see, I mean, it's handling Forza really decent. Yeah, not exactly my choice for an off-road vehicle here, so. And I do realize this is an off-camera or an off-screen, you know, video, so I'm not casting my screen or anything, so sorry if this doesn't show up a little bit better for you. Now I basically have set the game to try to lock into a 60 frames per second frame rate. IGS63 does a slightly better job with this, but again, I got a 1060, and it's a gaming machine, so. Oh, thank you, Forza, your infamous hiccups. To me, for a convertible laptop, this is completely acceptable. That's just me. I'm just like a lot of you guys. I go to the tech sites. I watch Linus, you know, and Dave 2D and some of those guys that do some of the more professional, in-depth reviews. And I'm just a regular radio loser that happens to play around with tech. So there you go. All right. Well, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of how some of the more high-end games run. This is Forza Horizon 3. I'm going to show you some other things too. Okay, now for some Cities Skylines. This isn't my kind of game. My wife plays it a lot. The one reason I wanted to show you this is she actually plays this at native 4K at, as you can see, more or less really high settings, including anti-aliasing enabled, which is pretty impressive. And she's been really happy with how it plays. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how this machine can handle some stuff at even native 4K, which is very nice. And again, the NVMe Samsung SSD is actually nice as far as loading. Cities Skylines actually is one that normally takes quite a while to load. And again, I'm terrible at this game, so just watch me wreck her save game, and then I'll be in all kinds of trouble. Move around a little bit. One reason I don't like games like this, it requires you to actually think. I think that's where I fall down. You see lots of rain effects happening right now. And, you know, really not bad at all. I don't think this game has any kind of a benchmark mode, does it? I don't think so. But anyway, actually the only jerkiness is just my very bad mouse scrolling. As you can see, she's got a pretty decent city started here, so that's native 4K Cities Skylines, and this includes the latest expansion with mass transit. So not bad for a convertible 2-in-1. Okay, this is about a minute after exiting Cities, and as you can hopefully hear, or not hear, fans have already ramped way down. I have found this to be a very pleasant laptop to be around. The gaming doesn't bother me. I don't mind hearing fans. It actually keeps the laptop quite cool. In fact, my wife doesn't use any type of a laptop cooler or anything like that, and it's not hot on her skin, you know, sitting on the couch or something. It's been a very pleasant experience as far as that goes. At idle, I can't really hear hardly any ambient noise. Maybe all the radio over the years has made me deaf because I wear headphones all the time when I'm on the air saying stupid things. But that's kind of the whole idea of why I do these videos. I'm just a regular guy. I definitely appreciate the channels that do the really detailed benchmarks and some of the in-depth stuff, because that stuff's interesting, and I do a lot of video work and photo work because I manage websites too. So I understand people wanting to know specific Photoshop things. But just to give you just an everyday layman's take on this, I think this Lenovo 720 is an amazing laptop. I would honestly consider it if something were to happen to my MSI GS63 VR. Screen's epic, as you can hopefully see. 4K, colors are great. Again, I'm not sure about accuracy. To my eyes, it actually looks very pleasant. I've seen in the comments that several of you have gone out and either checked out some displays at Best Buy, which is a great idea, or two have actually bought them. And from the experiences I'm hearing from you, it seems like a lot of you are impressed with this as well. If you have any more questions or comments, I'm definitely not against doing more videos about this, try to answer any questions I have. I really do hope one of the major channels picks this up, because I think this Lenovo 720 Yoga with the Nvidia 1050 video card in it is just amazing. Especially this week. I think this week alone it's on sale at Best Buy for $12.99. That's unbelievable. And by the way, I don't get any money. I provide a link in the description. I don't have any sort of affiliate program or anything like that, so I'm purely doing these videos just to try to answer questions I know I would have, and I know I haven't seen many people doing videos on this specific model. So I will put a link in the description of this one again to the Best Buy link, because at $12.99, we got this for my wife at $13.99, then did a price match this week at $12.99. This is an amazing value. Again, it may not be for you if you're an artist that that needs pen support. I will say one thing, maybe this will help some of you. In regards to the pen support, my wife has an HP Active Stylus pen. We've not been able to get that to work with a screen. Now, and we got new batteries and everything, so unless there's something actually wrong with her stylus, I'm not sure. But we've had no success getting the HP Active Stylus to work. And so that's not a big deal to us, but if you're wondering about that, just know that that is something that we've discovered. You may have specific needs. Maybe this model isn't for you, but if you're just looking for a great all-around portable machine, again, 4.5 pounds approximately, and not very thick, the Lenovo Yoga 720 with the Nvidia 1050 card, at least for me, comes highly recommended. Thanks again for all of your comments and your amazing reactions on our channel. We appreciate it. Love having fun with everybody. And again, keep the comments coming. I answer them as best I can. Have a good one.